towards the year with all of the positivity you can master. And also as the month starts, if you have any bucket list, stick to it and hope that everything will come as you want it. Also keep your head up high. We are in the 11th month of the year. There's so much that can still happen for you. So don't give up. Don't say that 10 months already gone. There's really nothing more to come. There is more that can happen in the last 2 months of the year for you. In any case, you are not bound by anybody's time. So far as there's life, so far as there's hope, many things can happen for you. So I wish you well, and I say that as this month begins, look to it with all of the positivity and know that good things will happen for you. This is ABC in the morning. We will be back. We will be back with Front Story. But before we even go into Front Story, today we'll bring you on Front Story, scrutinizing government's applicization agenda. We'll bring you sports, we'll bring you tech trick, we'll bring you Ghana Speaks at 7:30, where we will open the phone lines for you to have your say. Today on Ghana Speaks, the question we are asking is, are you ready to vote? Some 35 days more to December 7 elections. Are you ready to vote? Do you even want to vote? Are you excited about going to the polls? For those who are going to vote for the first time, what is going to influence your decisions to vote? So at 7:30, we'll open the phone lines 0539161609, 0539161609, so that you call and let us know if you are indeed ready to vote. On Business Fix today, we'll continue the conversation on financial literacy. Today, we'll speak about insurance policies. Are you someone who is interested in insurance policies, or you are averse to them? We'll have a conversation on that. And our main discussion will still be looking at matters about court. But in this case, we're looking at the anti-LGBTQ plus bill that is suffering the fate of unheard cases. And we'll also talk about Supreme Court giving the Attorney General 7 days to file their statement. We'll bring you politics today, and on politics today we'll be looking at the Bawku situation. We'll look at the Bawku situation ahead of the elections. We'll bring you Happy Hour and also executive interview, the segment that is solely for you. If you want to be featured on our executive interview, get in touch with us on 053-916-1609, 053-916-1609. Our credible election center is open, and we call it the Poll Center. Look forward to all of the credible information regarding this election and previous elections coming your way as we gear up towards the elections. On the Poll Center, we say votes, not violence. What's most important is that you go and vote at your polling station, but don't be involved in violence before, during, and after the election. So as we all prepare ourselves for the elections, have this at the back of your mind, that it is votes, not violence. And that's how we start ABC in the morning this beautiful Friday morning. Stay with us. We will be back with Front Story. You're back, and thank you for staying with us. Let's get straight into our Front Story. Today on Front Story, we are scrutinizing Ghana's applicization agenda, government's applicization agenda. Over the past few months, so many apps have been launched, and it's not just with the past few months. We've seen that this government is very interested in apps an app for this, an app for that, an app for this, an app for that. Does government have an appization agenda? Does government have an agenda to push apps for this digital transformation drive that they are on? And Ghana's digital transformation has seen public institutions actively investing in digital platforms, especially through mobile applications, from booking a transport ride to accessing government services. Apps have become the go-to solution. But as more public institutions jump on this app development bandwagon, many Ghanaians are questioning the effectiveness, necessity, and long-term goals of these initiatives. Are they delivering true value or adding layers of complexity to Ghanaian services? Over the past few years, there has been an exponential rise in the number of apps introduced by government. From health to education, every sector seems to be releasing its own application. But the question remains, do Ghanaians actually need these many apps? And what are the costs, both financially and socially, of this trend or on this trend? How much are we spending in putting out all of these apps? Just recently, the Ghana Media Commission, NMC, the National Media Commission, NMC, has announced plans to launch a Media Watch app to combat misinformation and disinformation ahead of the general elections. And according to the National Media Commission, the initiative aims to enable journalists and citizens to capture real-time suspicious activities at polling stations for prompt action. And speaking after a forum organized by the Institute of Democratic Governance on the theme moderating the airwaves for peaceful and credible elections 2024, Executive Secretary for the National Media Commission, George Sapon, believes the initiative will be a crucial tool in promoting peaceful elections and enhancing the safety of journalists. This would add to the many apps that have been launched by this government, including the Citizens app, Ghana Music Experience, and Go Ride, among others. So these are some of the apps that government has launched. Let's take a look at some of these apps as government has launched them. The MyNHIS app, Citizens app, and so many apps. And the question is, do we really need these apps at this time? Is it necessary? Citizen app is one of the apps. It's a comprehensive digital platform to consolidate public services into a simple, user-friendly application and also centralize interactions between the government and citizens. The functionalities of the Citizen app is for payment of utility bills, local assembly tolls and charges, including market and parking fees, get digital addresses for locations across the country, track, book and pay for intercity transport, and change of name after marriage, all on a mobile device. The cost of this app, they said, is a total of 383,573.59 Ghana cedis. The total of the Ghana.gov platform upgrade and Citizen app interoperability system, KDIS, estimated at over 300,000 Ghana cedis. Then there is also the Go Ride. It is a digital version of the local taxi system, which takes the traditional approach of finding a ride and gives it a modern twist, making it easier for both passengers and drivers to connect without disrupting the essence of the local transport system. Its functionalities include convenient ride-hailing service for citizens, real-time tracking and security features, competitive pricing and flexible payment options, and as a user-friendly interface for easy navigation. It was launched just in October 2024. These are some of the apps that have been launched by government. There is the Ghana Music Experience, the Maintain My Road app, Performance Tracker, which is a database that showcases the performance of government of Ghana by providing details of all projects, their progress and their locations. The Tap and Go, which is a digital platform for multiple public transport services, which was also launched in February 2024. These are some of the apps. But what has been the measure of the impact of these initiatives to the well-being of Ghanaians, and at what cost? What do they truly align with, or do they bear any form of lasting solution to the problem and needs of the average Ghanaians? Let's speak with Kwesi Etuahene. He is the Executive Director for the African Center for Digital Transformation. Hello, Kwesi. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Good morning, and thank you for having me. I've enjoyed your news programming so far, and I must say congratulations to the team.
Thank you, Kwesi. Kwesi, what do you think is the driving force or the push for app development among Ghanaian public institutions?
Well, thank you. I think across the world, generally, there have been a certain drive, and most especially in Africa, there have been the awareness and the awakening of the opportunities in the digital space. So if you look at typically a government entity like the National Entrepreneurship and Innovation Program, which I think is headed by one Kojo Ofosu Nkansa, now the CEO, they have centers across the nation, innovation hubs. So there are quite a number of young people trooping into the tech space, the IT space, and they are coming up with brilliant ideas, which is encouraged because every country that is seeking to develop in the modern 21st century is taking advantage of the digital opportunities. And as a country in Africa, we have a huge chunk of opportunity to exploit. However, I do believe that there are proper regulations, proper systems and structures to ensure that it benefits innovations around that involve government institutions, benefits the people of Ghana. That is where the challenge has been so far.
Developments, are the developments aligned with our broader digital policy goals?
I must say that the last time that the National Planning Development Commission released a certain framework till Ghana is 100 years, if you read their digital component, it talks about the development of ideas, development of tech initiatives. What has been the big challenge, which we have been advocating on in the last couple of months as Africa Center for Digital Transformation, has been the fact that every single innovation by this government, right from 2017 till now, has always been private-public partnership with a greater percentage of the ownership of the app or the ownership of the system developed being owned by a private entity, which generally it presupposes that private individuals are making tons of money off government. For example, in 2017, the government of Ghana contracted a private company called Vocacom to develop what they call the Ghana GPS in conjunction with the Ghana Post GPS in conjunction with the Ghana Post Office, the Ghana National Property Digital Addressing Systems. And if you look at that app, it was developed that it could have been developed for government. So government could have brought together individuals, employ them at the Ministry of Communication or Digitalization. Then they can develop the app for government. Then government benefits from download. Government has access to the IP address. Government owns the intellectual property and can own the patent. They didn't do that. Fast forward now, recently, the Ghana Citizen app, which was designed by Hoptel. So it's almost as though government is always contracting, including the Ghana card. So Ghana as a nation may want to build a system where we have a database of everyone. And the company that is in charge of it is Margins Group. It's absurd as a nation to put the best of your auction always in a private entity. That's not how the West developed. When you go to the passport office, now they have a digital system, brilliant idea. When you go to the premium center at the Accra Digital Center, it's being managed by VFS. So you cannot always put the best of your options in a private hand. simply because you have a good idea. When you do that, you will not be able to fully control the data protection system. Imagine that the entire nation is so vulnerable because you have always engaged a private entity to do a thing or that. Quite recently, we've seen a rise in app development because there are a lot of young people coming up with ideas, approaching governments engaging them. I agree with that. But the back conversation of these innovations is that who owns these apps? Who benefits from money from downloads? Who owns the IP? Who profits from the development of these apps? Who is in charge of the maintenance of the app? And how does the people of Ghana, aside benefiting from the service, how does the government of Ghana benefit monetarily from these developments? End of the day,
Kwesi, from a policy perspective, how sustainable is this trend of app development in terms of financial and human resources?
I think from a policy perspective, there have been some inequalities in our policy implementation. So the government has a trend where they look at the service provision. So they will bring out a document and say that if you use the Ghana card, you can conveniently request for your DVLA, digital DVLA license. You can pay your electricity bill. You can pay your water bill on the app. It's convenient. But in the policy implementation of a country, it's not just about the service. It's also about how the country makes money to be able to have enough to build hospitals, to be able to have enough to do roads, to be able to have enough to develop. China has developed simply because of the giant apps that they have and how the government is at the forefront of app development. In the US, they have apps like Facebook, WhatsApp, Twitter, which is now X, Instagram, and they are making money for their countries. So in the policy implementation, even though the policy drafts on the face level covers these things, the implementation has been very lacking. And I believe that conversations like this is meaningful, and it will help bring to the attention of future leaders, since we are approaching December 7th, to ensure that government makes the effort to at least not to always exploit sole sourcing contracting or always private-public partnership that puts the nation in the hands of private entities. It's a brilliant idea to partner with private. I'm not disputing that. But to sign a contract that puts a greater percentage of ownership of apps into the hands of private entities is a no, and it doesn't profit the nation on the long term.
It's a no, Kwesi, but let's look at the potential downsides of the multiple apps. What could be the potential downsides that we could face as a people by having so many multiple government apps for different services? How does this impact the average citizen's experience in all of these?
Thank you very much. Let me paint a very good scenario with some realities so that listeners can understand the question you've asked. Do you recognize that there was a time that we had lots of ID cards where you can go to bank either with your driver's license, your voter's ID, or go to bank with any of these IDs until they brought the ID of the Ghana card that you need Ghana card to do everything? It's the same with the apps. For instance, if you have multiple apps, which you can merge all these apps into one app where when you open, it can perform all these major functions, except for some specified apps, for instance, for Ministry of Tourism that they would want to have. Otherwise, institutional services and government businesses or essential services offered by government can be merged to have one app. What happens is that over the time, it makes it easier for people to use. It makes it easier for people to understand. It makes it easier for emerging generations to be taught by their own parents because they are aware of one app that can do everything. Then eventually, you can now translate into a proper digital ID system. The Ghana card is not an ID system because an ID system must sit on your phone. Where when you leave your country and you go to another country, they don't need to ask you for some details. They can just scan the IDs on your phone and it gives them enough data. But you cannot translate into that realm when you have multiple apps seeking to do similar things. For instance, The Ghana.gov app, the Ghana.gov initiative that is being managed by Subtribe for the government of Ghana, can do same or even better than the recent app they have developed, which is the Citizen app. On the same Ghana.gov app, you can pay your electricity bill, you can pay your water bill, there are components on it that can be used. So what's the essence of bringing another bill, contracting a private company and paying them? It defeats the intentionality of trying to build the nations together and trying to build structures so that it can make life easier for people. Now, if you look at the baseline of the nation's development, there are essential commodities that people need. These apps, how many people do you think will use the app in Northeast? Narogu, Sarogu, Wale, Pusiga, and some components of the region. We must develop progressively by making sure that the structures are in place. But because we currently have a crop of politicians who are obsessed with making money at all costs from every possible way, they come up with ideas to create, loot, and share. And they have been consistent with it. But it's my prayer.
Kwesi, are you saying that the development of apps has been because politicians want to create loot and share?
Absolutely. The consistent development of apps that can do the same thing simply suggests that they are looking for avenues to make money. If you permit, every ministry will come. If it's permitted, every ministry will come up with an app. Is it really essential? And every app that they come up with, they'll contract a private entity, award a contract. Money has been exchanged for them to build the app. And the app sits on Play Store or iOS to get some downloads. And at the end of the day, the private company that was contracted makes money. When you check the people behind the private company, it will be some politicians or some relations or some politicians. It doesn't help the nation to develop. At Africa Center for Digital Transformation, we are enthused about the development of the digital space, encouraging Ghanaians and Africans to take advantage of the potentials in the digital space. We are putting together training seminars. We are working and making sure that the governance components of the digital space profit Ghanaians. However, we do not encourage exploitation of the system by individuals who have some political affiliations or who have some political relationships. But we look together as a people with a hope into the future that innovations around the digital space will profit Ghanaians. As we speak now, it doesn't.
So to profit Ghanaians, we should make sure that Ghana owns the apps. It shouldn't be a private partnership project. Hello, Kwesi.
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay.
It's important that the country and the government of Ghana makes effort to own certain apps. Number one, to own the money that comes from the app. Number two, to make sure that the data of the people of Ghana does not always end up in the hands of private entities. Okay. Because once data ends up in the hands of a private entity, it behoves on them to now obey the data protection laws. But if it's in the hands of government, we all know that one of the major responsibilities of our government is to protect us. So you can be sure that your data with government is secured. Now we can no longer be sure because the Ghana Card, the National Identification Authority, signed a contract with a company called the Margins Group, 15 years, 1.2 billion, huge sums of money. On countless times, Honorable Kennedy Japan has been on radio saying that he does not agree with the fund. But of course, they went ahead and did whatever they want to do. And he repeats in all other sectors.
Okay. You mentioned earlier that there should be intentionality and then we should put structures in place to develop progressively. And you made mention of some rural areas that may not be able to access these things. This brings me to a question on digital literacy. How literate is the average Ghanaian digitally?
Well, when you live in Accra, you would be encouraged. But when you travel out of Accra to the different parts of the regions, you are likely to be disappointed. I must confess the digital divide is quite wide in our country. as a matter of fact, not everybody has access to a mobile phone. I believe that the Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, in his recent campaign, became aware of these realities. And I'm sure you may have heard him say that he's bringing in a new policy called the credit scoring system, where people can buy phones and pay small. Have you heard of it?
We've heard about the credit scoring system.
Exactly. And it's because when he started moving around, he became aware that, look, the digital divide is so huge. All right. As a matter of fact, currently we do have 3G and 4G running in the country. Quite recently, they permitted NextGen Infraco to start an initiative of 5G. However, not even every place in Ghana do have an effective running of these 3G and 4G. Not every Ghanaian, possibly at the age where they could be able to have an opportunity to use phone and use a phone that can connect them digitally and take advantage of the opportunities of the internet, do have access to. So we need to encourage that. For instance, you don't just pay somebody to develop an app like Hoptel or the Ghana Citizen app without any prior education. So even before the app comes, perhaps there could have been some public education across the region, letting people know what they can use the app for, why they need to use the app, the essence and the long-term goal of the country for which cause they are developing this app, and what they can profit. But because the long-term goal is not really to help the nation, but just to get some money into the system and some money out, they just come out with an idea. By the time they realize they are launching an app, and after the launch, what happens? It sits there, few people will download, few people may use it, and eventually that's it.
Thank you, Kwesi. We are grateful for your time this morning.
Thank you very much for having me, and you are doing a good work. Continue your public service to the nation. Thank you.
Kwesi Etuahene is the Executive Director for the African Center for Digital Transformation. Our conversation has been on the many apps that have been launched by this government, scrutinizing government's applicization agenda. Kwesi says that because digital literacy is low in the country, before an app will be developed, it is necessary that digital education happens prior to the launch of the app, and says that the consistent development of the apps this consistent development of apps is not in the best way or in the best interest of the country. It exploits the system in that the development of our apps is not just solely based on government. It's private partnership. There's a private-public partnership, and there's a private component that is basically managing the app. Because of that, we have issues about data protection, and to be able to solve those issues of data protection, we must make sure that all of these apps are vested into the government, so that government owns the apps, government is making all of the money from the app, and government also makes sure that our data is protected as a people. It says that the development of too many apps defeats the intentionality of it. So these are some of the conversations following the various app launches in the country. We'll see how far it goes. Kwesi believes that many of these apps have been launched for someone to make money, not necessarily for the long-term goal of it. We are here and to see if indeed that is what will happen at the end of the day. Will it be an app that will see a long-term effect of, or these apps will fizzle out because someone made money out of them? It is yet to be seen. That's all for Front Story today on ABC in the Morning. We'll be back. Stay with us. ABC in the morning at 7:30. We will open the lines for Ghana Speaks. And the question we are asking you is, are you ready to vote? So you should call us on 0539161609. Are you ready to vote? But before that, let's go for sports and tech trick. Derek Kumiki Sedu and Eric Melotrineboa are on hand to give us the latest in sports and all we need to know about the tech industry. Sports and tech trick up next.
Advertise your brand or business on ABC News GH Television. Call us on 030-278-8645 or 050-993-0360 to secure your slot.
sports segment here on ABC in the morning. I am Derek Kumiki here. Now let's dive into the world of sports as the Ghana Football Association, GFA, has announced that the Black Stars of Ghana will take on Niger at the Accra Sports Stadium on November 18, 2024 in the 2025 African Cup of Nations AFCON qualifiers. According to GFA, according to GhanaFA.org, the Confederation of Football, CAF, has approved the Accra Stadium in it after it underwent renovation works to improve the state of the facility to meet international standards. This comes after concerns were raised about the venue where the Black Stars will play against Niger following CAF's ban on the Barbara Sports Stadium from hosting high-profile games due to poor facilities. The Black Stars were unimpressive when they played 2 matches against Sudan in the 2025 AFCON qualifiers, missing quite a number of chances. The team drew goalless against Sudan at home and lost by 2-0 in the return leg encounter in Libya. After 4 matches played, Ghana were third in Group F with 2 points. Sudan were in second place with 7 points, whilst Angola leads 12 points. The Black Stars will travel to face Angola and play the last match against Niger in Ghana in November 2024. And now Gold Stars FC will seek to continue their unbeaten Premier League run when they host struggling Dreams FC on Sunday. But defending champions FC Tamatex as well as Mediama SC kicked their ball rolling with mouth-watering games today, November 1, 2024. Mediama SC hosts Hearts of Oak at the TNA Stadium in Takwa, which is happening later this evening in what is expected to be an absorbing Premier League match day 9. Mediama drew away a 2-goal lead to draw 2-2 at Ediana FC in their last match and will be eager to rewrite the script in front of their home fans. Heart of Oak inconsistency continued last weekend after losing 1-0 at home to Gold Stars FC. The Phobians must dig deep to overcome the former Premier League champions in Takwa. Kickoff time is 6 p.m. Now FC Samatex 1996 travel to the capital to battle struggling Accra Lions at the University of Ghana Stadium, also happening today, November 1. There are 6 matches to be played on Sunday, with Asante Kotoko SC playing at home to Heart of Lions at the Lincoln Stadium in Obuasi. Kotoko drew 1-1 at Besak Holy Stars, whilst Heart of Lions piped the Instructorman FC 1-0 in their last encounter to set the stage for an enthralling contest in the mining town. Vision FC will aim to return to winning ways after their 3-0 defeat at Ediana FC at the weekend. They host their Brekese side at the Ni Ej Akreku, the second sports complex. Instructorman FC are at home against Bechem United in the Bono Derby, where Brekum Chelsea hosts Premier League new boys Basak Holy Stars. Karela FC return to Temale Sports Stadium to entertain Nations FC following their stalemate at Bechem United at the weekend. League leaders Gold Stars FC will seek to continue their impressive start to the season when they host struggling Dreams FC at home on Sunday. The Miners are top of the table with 18 points and are unbeaten after 8 matches. On Monday, November 4, 2024, Legon Cities FC will take on Young Apostles FC at the University of Ghana Stadium. Let's do some international, as Leicester City boss Steve Cooper has provided an update on the availability of Ghanaian winger Abdul Fattah Isahaku. The 20-year-old missed Leicester City English Premier League cup tie against Manchester City on Sunday night with a growing problem and remained doubtful for the club visit to Ipswich Town coming Saturday, 2nd November 2024.
Obviously you pick a team, but you pick a team that you think is best fit to deliver a plan that can win you the game. So that doesn't necessarily mean players played last night that they won't play again on the weekend, and the sort of vice versa. You know, if just because they weren't. I mean, we picked up a couple of knocks as well, and throughout the week, obviously, Abdul is not available for the game last night through a groin. So yeah, we had a couple of force changes as well, but now we'll see.
And that's how we wrap up the sports segment here on ABC in the morning. For more sports updates, please follow our website at www.abcnewsgh.com. I am Derek Komi Kisiedu.
We are currently here at Kanishi.
When the news breaks, we are there. In the heart of matters arising, we follow through with the right question. Don't miss a beat with our in-depth news analysis. From breaking news, special feature stories, latest news, we bring you the stories that matter. Our team of immersed reporters bring you the news as it happens. Join us every 6 a.m., 12 p.m. and 6 p.m. each day for a comprehensive look at the stories beyond the headlines.
2 to 1.
You're watching ABC News GH.
ABC News GH, your trusted source for news.
Hello there, welcome to the Tech Trade segment here on ABC in the morning. And oh yeah, thank God it's Friday. We just can't also wait to have some fun, right? But if you're having fun and unfortunately you lose your phone, what would you do? That's why I'm here today to help you solve that issue, should that occur. So our focus today on ABC Tech Trick is finding or how to find your lost phone, either on iPhone or you are also an Android user. So not knowing how to find your smartphone can cause a real panic when the need arises. It's likely also that way so much of information on your phone, but just in case you don't have access to your bank details and stock portfolio and can't also grant access to pretty much of any information on your personal sphere of your life, plus you're also likely to be addicted to your smartphone in ways that no device has ever addicted humankind before. In short, if you've lost your phone, you may start to panic. So we're here to help you out. So let's begin with how to find your lost phone on your Android, if you're an Android user. So we're actually going to take you through a procedure. So if you have your phone with you, if you're an Android user, kindly take your phone, just follow this procedure. So we follow along, just in case you might not know what happens during this weekend. So the first step you have to do is to go to your settings, security and privacy, just as you see on your screens. Select the device finders, then an alternative message over there will be shown, so you can also go to Google, either method, and of course you take you there on the next step as well. So find your phone exactly as I'm teaching you, just follow as you're doing. Now the step 2 on this is to tap Find My Device. So alternatively, you can also open settings and type Find My Device in the search box. Okay, so when the settings appear, select it. Okay, so you select that, and the third step you have to do is on your toggle on the Find My Device setting, it should always be on. That means that the toggle on the Find My Device settings, as you see, or the projection on the screen, should be seen. Now the fourth step we're teaching you, or can help you, is that you also find an option here to install the Find My Device app from the Play Store if you haven't already done so, or open it if it's already installed. So there's also a button to open the Find My Device web portal on your device browser, so you can also download that on your phone, just in case you're not really familiar with the procedures we're teaching you here on Tech Trick. Now the new Find My Device app will also show you a list of all the phones, tablets and other devices that you're associated with your account. For all you know, somebody is also using the same systems, like has apparently hacked into your system and is using or has every information on your phone. So by selecting any device on the list, it will also show its location on the map, and the information will be available depending on the device you are also using. You'll see options on the Play App Store over there to secure the device. Now let's actually shift from the Android users a bit. Now let's come to the iPhone users. Most of you are quite familiar with the app, and so most of you even have so much knowledge about this, but just in case some of you are just new to the iOS and iPhone device, it's just simple. So Apple has a priority app called Find My iPhone that is dedicated to helping you find a misplaced or lost iPhone installed on that. So it can easily locate them and manage it. Now you must also use another iOS phone, tablet or computer that also has the Find My laptop or phone device to help you select and of course locate your device. So the first step is to select settings, your Apple ID or the name. So if you're using iPhone, just select settings, your Apple ID. It will pop up with a notification. Then the next step, that's the step 2, is to select Find My iPhone. It's that simple. Now make sure that the toggle for Find My iPhone is always left on green. So the green thing you see on your screen, it just disappeared, but I'm sure it will pop up again. You can actually find that on your iPhone, just to make sure that it is actually an authentic thing you're doing. Now there's step 3, the toggle on your Find My network and send last location switches. Now this means that the first option lets your iPhone participate in Apple's cross-shot items tracking network, so that it can also report its location to other nearby phones, even if it has no internet access. And in a second, we'll also ensure that it makes one last ditch location report just before its battery goes dead. Okay, so when you do these, as we're showing you on your screen, it's that simple. This weekend you don't know what will happen. Okay, so just in case you go out and you can't find your phone, these are quite easy method and simple procedures to follow. Now the fourth step is to launch the Find My Device app, then select devices from a bottom of your tab, and you proceed with the fifth step by selecting the iPhone or iPad that you want to view the location for. Most of you have actually come up with some interesting conversations on social media that you lost your phone, and when you track the system on your phone, it's actually in somewhere about Katanga, in Circle. That is how iPhone has designed the app for you, so it can be easily identified, whether it's in whichever region, it's easy for you to locate. Now the sixth step to follow is that you can also play a sound to locate your device, get directions to also locate your device, and set up notifications when the device is left behind. It means that by marking the device as lost or remotely wiped, the device will also be shown to you. So losing your phone, as I've said, your smartphone especially, is a very scary experience. Nobody wants to lose your phone, because in this technological world, our personal details is on it. Every information we have is on it. But I do hope that these tips have done some magic, or will do some magic in the future in case any unfortunate thing happen. Now this, of course, has been Tech Trick with me, Eric Mello. ABC in the Morning continues shortly after this. Have a good morning.
It is possible. Highly possible. Possible.
Welcome back and still watching ABC in the morning. Let's get straight into Ghana Speaks.
Times are hard in Ghana, extremely hard.
As we gear towards the 2024 general elections, there have been conversations around having a presidential debate. Will it happen or not? This is Ghana Speaks.
36 days into the elections, are you ready to vote? Are you ready to cast your vote? Tell us on Ghana Speaks. Your voice matters here on Ghana Speaks. Call us on 053-916-1609, 053-916-1609, and tell us if you are ready to vote. What is influencing your decision to vote or not come December 7? We're looking forward to hearing from you on Ghana Speaks this morning. A few days into the elections. Today is 1st November. 1st November. Election day is 7th December. Are you ready to vote in your constituency? Has your MP done so well that you're ready to give them another nod? Are you also ready to give the MPP another chance, or you say MPP should go, NDC should come? Are you ready to say that the duopoly is enough? Let's break the duopoly. We do not want either NPP or NDC. We want another person. We want another face. We want another party, an independent candidate to lead the nation. Are you ready to vote? What are your decisions going into the elections? What are the policies you are going to base your vote on? What have the various political parties said, the candidates said, that resonates with you so much that you are ready to vote for that particular party? Tell us on 053-916-1609, 053-916-1609. Are you ready to vote? We get into elections, there are various things that influence our decision to vote. We've had conversations on these. Some political scientists have said that this election is going to be a policy-based election. Others have said that this election is going to be because of how people feel. People are going to look at their standard of living, their way of life, and going to determine who leads Ghana in January, come 7th January. So you too, let us know what will be influencing your decision to vote. 36 days to the elections. We have 36 days to the elections. Are you one of the people who, when it's getting to the elections, you start to put your ID, your voter's ID under your pillow just to make sure that it is safe, in a safe place? You wake up, you look at the voter's ID, you tell your voter's ID that I'll be using you very soon. We are going to the polls. Are you those people? Do you start counting the days, or you are just waiting till we get to December? You see that today is 1st December, and you're like, okay, since it is 1st December, then it means in this week we will be voting. What is your vote pattern going to be like? We're entering into the elections. Are you ready to vote? Who will you be voting for? On what tangent will your votes go? Have you been, have the various parties spoken to you well enough? Hello, good morning. Your name and where you are calling from?
I'm calling from Tolong district, in the Dorian region.
And what's your name?
I'm calling Yusuf Imoru.
Imoru, 36 days more to the elections. Are you ready to vote?
Yes. My community name is called Nyampala in the Tolong district.
Okay.
And my MP name is Habib Idris, Honorable Habib Idris. He has done a lot for the constituency. So we are ready to vote massively for him, to retain him, to return back to Parliament and help us develop our constituency. Secondly, I'll vote for Dr. Muhammad Baumia because of free senior high school and the digitalization idea he's bringing to Ghana. Inshallah, it is possible.
Thank you, Moro.
Yes.
Moro says that he will be voting. He will vote for his MP to retain the seat and also vote for the NPP's Dr. Mahmoud. And vote for the NPP's Dr. Mahmoud Baumia because of free SHS and the digitalization drive. So his vote is hinged on two things: free SHS and digitalization drive. So Imoro says he will be voting in the elections. Are you ready to vote? 36 days to the elections. Are you ready to vote? What will be influencing your votes come December 7? What will be influencing your votes come December 7? The Electoral Commission said that on the voters register, the Electoral Commission gives us statistics on the voters register. The total registered voters are 459,921. And these are the first time voters, 459,291. In Greater Accra region, they make up 62,932. In the Northeast region, 12,586. In the Upper East region, 17,635. In the Northern region, 40,119. In the Bono region, 18,724. In the Volta region, in the Bono East region, 17,012. In the Volta region, 23,501. In the Upper East region, 13,975. In the Eastern region, 43,962. In the Central region, 49,460. In the Ahafu region, 10,073. Ashanti, 81,163. In the Western North, 14,990. In Oti region, 13,350. In Savannah, 10,495. And in the Western region, 29,314. Total registered first-time voters, 459,291. And this is from the Electoral Commission. And they make up, and 46.95% make up the male and 53.05% make up female. We also conducted a poll on our X platform. We asked Ghanaians, will you vote on December 7? 58% of Ghanaians said yes, they will vote. 25% said no, they won't be voting on December 7. 17% of those who took the poll said that maybe they still are not sure whether they will be voting or not come December 7. Hello, your name and where you're calling from? You speak Tree?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Okasefi here. Nungwa. Appear do December 7 wo be to aba.
Ashan to aba.
Na wabato no wo beto ne sen.
The let's aba no say. Eni afika kra.
This is what I said many years ago. So, okay, 1999, 2000. Now run as a council for 19 years. That time, we are trying one of our small years to the BNC. And I prefer the taking over. Before taking over, the answer to you, boom, Sabrina, simple. The trouble we are coming from that time. Now, Sabrina, for almost steady to our cascading. Yenyabi. As you go a year money, Sana 2009. Hello.
Meteor Wapedu, Pachakasa.
Sana 2009. NDC Sabe taking over. I'm Busukasa 2009. NDC Sabe taking over. I won't take you over now. The Sabe to name a boom, the BNC. Emma, it could do 2016. I could find the taking over. Yeah, so you go more of some COVID by and Sana and Yamabo. It is a Mahama say no, hold on. Not economy a year. Not a year, I say, or by David or by the Amai.
See, I'm not in our Betuaba. The Chester Obertuaba, MPP.
I'm MPP.
Okay, appear to me that
on about the Bidian is and yeah, Nana and Yamason.
Okay, yeah, that's it. Apiedu says he is calling from Nungwa, says that he is going to be voting for the NPP because he believes the NPP does a better job than the NDC. So Apiedu says he will be voting for the NPP. Hello, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
I'm Badomekati.
Okay, me pacho doom TV set no doom. And I say my volume no
perform. Me do no. Me ma volume na perform.
December 7, Obertuaba. Okay, we have lost the caller, but let us know if you will be voting on December 7. When you call, kindly turn down the volume of your TV set or even turn it off so that after the conversation you turn it on. When you leave the volume up, you tend to want to listen to yourself. December 7, will you vote? Will you vote? If you're a first-time caller, you let us. If you're first, hello.
Masaba Nana Usu.
Nana Usu kase free here.
The kase free kumase.
Nana Usu December 7 Obertuaba.
The women to Aba.
I then I want to Aba.
The entire to Aba say MPP for Omadi Asante Mangamo. Omadi Kumasi for Angamo. Asante 42 per Asante 4.
Ade.
The Kai last 4 years in Anado. Yes, a G Omudi Kotu Abamo. They will say Asante 4 years. Why are they winning any my? But MPP fight say yes and for you need answer. You need answer.
Okay, me that say.
Omu be bia my Asante Memula. Enti abatwa de me de ma ahoro men sakra.
Okay, Mate, yeah, that's it. He says he won't be voting because he believes the NPP have disappointed the people of the Ashanti region. Let's take our last call and that'll be it for Ghana Speaks. You can call us 053-916-1609. We lost the caller, but you can still call 053-916-1609. We'll take our last call and that'll be it for Ghana Speaks. Are you ready to vote? Hello, good morning. Your name and where you're calling from?
Hello, good morning, madam. Pacho Mekaki.
Me Pacho, so your friend was saying, and now free.
The family Denise make us African district. Me Pacho, I'm about the meant to Abba because Usha Abba yet to know what is it to Sontamo. Quaco is a she. And most of the times, you will have any normal be or minus more echo and more or minus. Let me take you, for example, we are Ghana, who guy are we? More motion program in Ghana for Ghana are okay, US and Africa, Canada. Okay, I was sad, Buffalo, 2 information no na nipa no oti asama who can on TV you know who that's on senior we and the most of the journalists I was say mo eden e kan mo kesema no e ba twi e kan local language and na nyakopon e di mai se yenka ba sa no ma no ye buto no tekatra and na ama o mai aka atire no se wa ho and this agbo for sample so I don't die no and one na yan follow yan ka say quarter and produce when we support about it aka no nti se metro abata ajax aboso metro nti sabro for sample no ya mo hwe ni bi emwaye the number of people who metro abayi na ekifo the whole monte brofu nti sa go for sample no ya mo na yes ya ka say follow ye die to send me my for so mo ye o mo die no.
Okay, yeah, that's it. So he also says he won't be voting this election. That's all for Ghana Speaks. Are you ready to vote? And as subsequent Ghana Speaks, we'll be asking you other questions. We'll be looking forward to your responses on to the questions. That's all for Ghana Speaks. Up next is Business Fix. Financial literacy, and today we'll continue with that. We already established that financial literacy is crucial for economic stability and personal empowerment. It is the ability to understand and effectively manage personal financial matters and encompasses a range of skills and knowledge that enable individuals to make informed decisions regarding budgeting, saving, investing, borrowing, and planning. Financial literacy means financial wellness, and it means that the knowledge of and understanding of different areas of finance, from savings accounts to pensions. It also means that you have the ability to make good decisions about money, like how, when, and whether to use different financial products. Being financial literate isn't necessarily about being rich, but rather about having the confidence to know that you have options, what your options are on savings, on investments, and many others. One of such decisions and options is insurance. So today on Business Fix, we are looking at insurance and asking the question, are insurance policies necessary? What is insurance? Is this a contract represented by a policy in order in which a policyholder receives financial protection or reimbursement against losses from an insurance company? Insurance policies hedge against financial losses resulting from accidents, injury, or property damage. Insurance also helps cover costs associated with liability for damage or injury caused to a third party. And one of insurances is life insurance, which offers a way to provide financial support for beneficiaries after the plan owner's death. Basic life insurance policies can approximately match what the policy owner was making or a percentage of it. You can either buy a term or a life insurance, which is best for you and will depend on your needs and your financial situation. Life insurance may not be worth it if you do not have dependents, or if you're having a tight budget, or if your other plans providing. Life insurance may not be worth it if you have no dependents, if you have a tight budget, or if you have other plans for providing for them after your death. But people are quite adverse to life insurance packages. Some of us do not understand what life insurance packages are and all. Today, we'll look at insurance to better understand it. And to help us on the conversation is Prince Nyako. He is an insurance practitioner. Good morning, Prince. Thank you for your time this morning.
Hello, good morning. I hope you can hear me loud and clear.
I can hear you. Thank you for joining us.
You're welcome.
Prince, we want to look at life insurance as a subset of insurance. But before we even get into life insurance, give us an overview of what an insurance package is and what it means for someone who purchases an insurance package.
All right, thank you very much. I'm grateful for the opportunity to share knowledge with your audience. All right, so my name is Prince Nyako. I'm an insurance practitioner. When we talk about life insurance, as you started with your intro, it's a contract where the contract is an individual telling a company that I faces a certain type of risk. Therefore, I'm going to pay money to you so that when the risk happens, you come to my aid. So in the layman's term, it's basically you paying something to an insurance company who then comes to your aid when the risk that you faces crystallizes. Yeah.
Okay. Then let's look at life insurance. What is a life insurance policy? We hear it a lot. You have to take a life insurance. You go to this bank, and after you have done what you want to do there, they say, do you have insurance? Have you looked at life insurance? What is a life insurance policy or a life insurance package?
Okay, so life insurance policy in my earlier submission is a contract. So let me use the bank analogy to explain it to you. Now, anytime a person goes to borrow from a bank, the bank will certainly request the person to get a life insurance policy. Now, the reason why the bank will ask the person to get a life insurance policy is because they have given you an amount of money which they are expecting you to pay back. But then there are risks that the bank faces as to either you dying before you repay the loan, or either you being critically ill before you repay the loan, or becoming total and permanently disabled. So because the bank has given you the money and they cannot foretell what might happen to you throughout the period you are going to pay the money, they will ask you to go and take a life insurance. So when you take the life insurance, what it does is that it is safeguarding the bank so that in case any of this risk happens, whether if you don't leave so you finish paying the loan, if you become critically ill, if you are total and permanently disabled, the insurance company will rather pay the bank the loan that you borrowed. So to the bank, it is a form of they protecting themselves from the loan that they have given you, that they are not going to lose the loan, that you are going to pay the loan to the term of the loan. So basically, that is all life insurance is about. And so as an individual too, you also faces the same kind of risk. And as we all live here, nobody can predict what can happen tomorrow. Nobody can predict the age one will attain before the person dies. And these are all risks, right? So because they are risks, you tend to take a life insurance policy that will help safeguard this risk, so that when this risk happens, the insurance company will come to you in. Remember that it is the income that we earn that determines the lifestyle that each and everybody lives. So you have to make sure that you take a life insurance to protect that income. The people who depend on your income needs to be protected. If the breadwinner of a family goes, that doesn't stop the end of the family cycle. Your children will need to grow. They will go to school. They will still eat. They will still do everything that they are doing when you are alive. But then the income that you are earning will not be replaced again. But then if you have a life insurance, the life insurance will come to your aid and pay a benefit where there will be a continuity of life for the people that depends on you.
Okay. Prince, so say someone was taking 5,000 Ghana cedis and has bought an insurance policy, a life insurance policy, and the person is no more. How much does the family that nuclear family benefit from that insurance package?
Okay, thank you for the question. So when it comes to life insurance, we have various sum insureds that an individual can take, and we have various ways of arriving at these sum insureds. So first of all, we can take your income, and then we can do an estimation on the income and determine that, okay, when you are no more, how much will your income, do you want your income to be replaced to your family? So basically, for the sum insured, they range in size. You can get some as high as $500,000, you can get some as 250,000, and it all depends on the uniqueness of your family story. You know, every family has a story, right? And this story is dependent on the income that is coming into the family. So based on your income, the life insurance officer can calculate for you a sum insured that when you are no more, when it stays to your family can live comfortably, and they will just only miss your presence. So it depends on how, but for the benefits of doubt, I would say that it's very important for people to protect their income 3 times their annual salary. That is the minimum, and 12 times their annual salary. That is the maximum.
Okay. Can you please explain to us this 3 times and 12 times, this minimum and maximum benefits protection?
All right. Okay. All right. So if you take, let's say, an income of 5,000, right now that 5,000, that means annually you are taking home 6,000 Ghana cedis, right? So this 60,000 Ghana cedis, it means that if you want to do a minimum of it, you can do the 60,000 by 3 years, which will give you 180,000. Now this 180,000 becomes the sum insured of the person, okay? And also, if you are doing the highest value of it, that means the 60,000, you are going to multiply it by 12. That means the person needs to insure the income to 720,000 Ghana cedis for the family. Is that okay?
Yes, it is. But there's a lot of Ghanaians, many people, when you speak to them about life insurance, are very averse to this, to taking a life insurance package or getting onto a life insurance policy. Why do we see that heavily amongst us as a people?
All right. So I think that is very high among people because of the low awareness and the understanding of the concept life insurance and the benefits it gives people, how it works, and also the kind of like the misinformation that they get to hear from other people who have had bad experiences with life insurance, that they tell them. That is what are some of the things that people don't really consider life insurance much. We can also look at the cultural belief. Now, some culture, when you are talking to people about life insurance, they think that they see it as they planning for their death. So that means that they are not really willing to listen to you because of their cultural belief. And also we have some trust issues that, as I said, there are some people who had exposure to life insurance, they took it up, and a time came that they wanted the policy to come to their aid, and their claim was denied. And because of those bitter experiences, people tend to tell other people, which becomes a problem when people talk about life insurance. And we also look at the economic situation of the country. So if you know that Ghana, the economy is significantly for low and middle income earners. And when you take a life insurance, which is a long term, and there is some form of hardship, people tend to focus more on going to withdraw from these policies, and as such, they intend not to take up this policy, right? And also, basically, you look at the product itself. So the product customization too over the period has been a challenge. I have been in the industry for 11 years. I've met clients, I've sold policies, and some people buy policies that they have the view that, in 3 6 months time, I'll get a payout, and the 6 months come, and then they go to the insurance company and they realize that the policy that they bought is actually not paying out within that period. So they tend to have some kind of bad sentiment towards life insurance. So for me, I would say these are the various things that make people not consider life insurance. And I also feel that the particular thing that we as an industry, we need to do is to make sure that we are educating people to get to understand the very importance that it comes with life insurance.
What are some of the things I should look out for when I want to buy an insurance package, not necessarily a life insurance package, any form of insurance package? What are the key things I should be placing emphasis on before I spend money on that?
All right. So first of all, I think that if you decide to purchase any type of insurance, you should first of all understand the reason why you want to purchase that life insurance. Right. So if I say reason why, what is, let's say if you are buying a car insurance, you have to understand, are you buying just for a third party sake, or you are doing a comprehensive kind of insurance that protects you and the third party, right? So you understand the particular insurance you are buying, the things that will happen for the insurance to pay out is very important. Then you also need to look at the company that you are buying from. Is it a registered company with the National Insurance Commission? So you have to, the regulator, we have a body that regulates insurance companies. So you need to go to NIC.com, which is the National Insurance Commission, to go and look out for the registered insurance companies that are in good standing. Now, the reason why I'm saying this is because people...
Hello, Prince. Hello. We seem to have lost Prince, but Prince basically is telling us that before you buy any or purchase any life insurance policy, you should visit the insurance, you should check with the regulator. But we have Prince back on. Hello, Prince. Hello. Okay, Prince Nyako is an insurance practitioner. He's given us some education on insurance, why we need insurance, and especially life insurance. Basically, and at the base of it, before you buy any insurance, visit the regulator to be sure about the company. Hello, Prince.
Hello, please, can you hear me?
We can. We lost you at a point. You were talking about how to be sure that you are buying from a right person or a right company when you're buying an insurance package.
Yes. So you want to make sure that the company is in good standing. That can be at your aid to fulfill a claim when you have a claim that they have to pay. So you have to look out for that, and also you need to make sure that you understand the person you are dealing with is helping you understand the policy you are buying, and you as a person you have to give them every right information about the policy you want to buy, so that at the end of the day, they cannot say you didn't tell them this when the point you need them to come and pay a claim for you. Okay. So these are some things that an individual should look out for whenever they want to purchase an insurance.
We are grateful for your time this morning, Prince.
Welcome very much, and I look forward to engaging with you some other time.
Okay, thank you. Prince Nyako is an insurance practitioner. Today we're looking at insurance policies. Are insurance policies necessary? All in a bit to educate us on financial literacy. We established that financial literacy is very important. It helps us shape our financial life to the best that we can. And insurance policies are safeguards you take to protect yourself in case of any eventualities. That's all for Business Fix. We will be back with more.
Million children have benefited from free SHS. Protect free SHS. Vote Dr. Baumia #1 on the ballot.
In 2017, the NPP inherited an infrastructure network in need of renewal. We've since focused on building modern, resilient infrastructure, expanding roads, railways and housing through strong partnerships with the private sector. As we enter the next chapter, a revitalized public works department will lead maintenance, with local governments enhancing district roads. We are committed to expanding railways and upgrading airports to connect Ghana for a stronger future. While much has been achieved, there's still more to do. Vote for Bawumia. Bawumia means business.
In 2017, the NPP inherited a fragmented digital infrastructure that limited public service efficiency. Since then, we've revolutionized how services are delivered with the Ghana card and mobile money interoperability, enhancing speed and accessibility. Our efforts have greatly improved government interactions, making life easier for every Ghanaian. However, our vision doesn't stop here. We aim to further expand and modernize Ghana's digital landscape. The journey towards a fully integrated digital society continues. Stand with us. Vote for innovation. Vote for Bawumia. Bawumia means business. In 2000.
Over the past 8 years, the NPP has significantly improved support for our most vulnerable citizens. From expanding school meal programs, enrolling 300,000 more people in the LEAP initiative, enhancing healthcare for expectant mothers, we've strengthened the fabric of our society. But our work isn't done. We are committed to further enhancing these programs and introducing new initiatives to ensure that every Ghanaian has the opportunity to thrive. Vote for progress. Vote for care. Vote for Bawumia. Bawumia means business. In 2017, the NPP inherited an infrastructure network in need of renewal. We've since focused on building modern, resilient infrastructure, expanding roads, railways and housing through strong partnerships with the private sector. As we enter the next chapter, a revitalized public works department will lead maintenance, with local governments enhancing district roads. We are committed to expanding railways and upgrading airports to connect Ghana for a stronger future. While much has been achieved, there's still more to do. Vote for Bawumia. Bawumia means business.
welcome back. Before we get into our discussion, let's see what is trending on the various news portals. ABC News GH, Bawumia launches streaming platform Ghana Music Experience. That is the streaming platform Bawumia Vice President has launched. Also on ABC News GH, 2 more killed in Boko conflict. Death toll now 19. Election 2024, we will investigate, prosecute corrupt officials on, and that's what John Mahama says. And on My Joy Online, this is what My Joy Online is reporting. Government eyes private sector partnership to tackle ECG's woes and disregard notice of fare adjustment. Transport Ministry says we should disregard the notice of fare adjustment. Akufo-Addo has deliberately and systematically weakened independent institutions. John Mahama says so. And Professor Stephen Adair says make grand corruption a felony offense. Make grand corruption a felony offense. And these are what's on the various news portals. On City Newsroom, let's see what is on City Newsroom trending there to what they are reporting. We have enough buffers. CD will soon appreciate. The Bank of Ghana governor says so. And Apia Kubi says Parliament's childish antics not inspiring, and he's speaking about the declaration of those 4 seats as vacant. And the National Media Commission warns media on obscenity, threatens penalties for offenders. And Akwemu Traditional Council vows to resist the naming of Adome Railway Station. These are some of the news on the various news portals. For more news, visit our website www.abcnewsgh.com. That is our website. Let's see if there's anything trending on X, formerly known as Twitter. Well, there's a lot trending. Mr. President is trending there. Would read and see why Mr. President is trending. Black Sheriff and all are trending on X. We'll bring you any interesting or worthwhile trends on X as we move on. But let's get into our discussion for today. Our discussion for today is on the Supreme Court again. The Supreme Court, but this time in a different vein. Is the anti-LGBTQ bill suffering the same fate of unheard cases? Realize that after the Supreme Court heard the case about the 4 vacant seats, many have raised concerns about priorities in the Supreme Court. And one of such cases that questions have been raised on is the anti-LGBTQ plus bill before the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court of Ghana has granted the Attorney General's Department an extension of time to file its statement of case in the matter involving journalist and private legal practitioner Richard Delasky versus the Speaker of Parliament. The case challenges the constitutionality of the Ghanaian Family Values Bill, and the Apex Court has provided an additional 7 days for the Attorney General's Department to prepare its statement. During the proceedings, the State Attorney also requested that the court compel the Speaker's legal team to submit a report on the financial impact analysis related to the Family Values Bill. The State Attorney argued that this analysis could significantly influence the case's outcome, emphasizing the importance of understanding the financial implications of the proposed legislation. The case of Richard Delasky versus the Speaker of Parliament revolves around the Ghanaian Family Values Bill, which has sparked significant controversy since its introduction. The bill aims to promote certain traditional family values and norms, but critics argue that it could infringe on individual rights, particularly those of marginalized groups, including the LGBTQ community. And the plaintiff, Richard Delasky, a journalist and private legal practitioner, is challenging the bill's constitutionality. He asserts that the proposed legislation violates fundamental human rights guaranteed by the Ghanaian Constitution, such as equality before the law and freedom from discrimination. Delaskai contends that the Family Values Bill contravenes constitutional provisions that protect the rights of all citizens, and he argues that the bill could lead to increased discrimination against vulnerable populations and undermine the dignity of individuals. Delaskai also wants the Supreme Court to give an order restraining the President of the Republic from assenting to the Human and Sexual Values Bill 2024, as such action will directly contravene the constitutional safeguards of liberties and rights of Ghanaians. The state attorney requested that the Speaker's legal team provide a report on a financial impact analysis of the bill, and this analysis is crucial as it may reveal the potential economic repercussions of implementing the bill and how it aligns with the national budget and social services. The Supreme Court has allowed the Attorney General's Department additional time, specifically 7 days, to file its statement of case regarding the issues raised in the lawsuits. So we'll take a look at the trajectory of this case and the reliefs sought by the plaintiff. The trajectory of the case and the reliefs sought by the plaintiff. There's a chronology of the anti-LGBTQ bill in the Supreme Court, the Family Values Bill. The case was filed by Richard Delaskai on March 5, 2024 at the Supreme Court. The first hearing was on May 8, 2024, and lawyers of the plaintiff were asked to amend their motions due to insulting language in their submissions, and then the case was postponed. On July 17, there was a second hearing, and the judges said there will be a judgment once the bill's constitutionality has been determined. There was then a third hearing on October 31, where the court ordered the Attorney General to file a statement in 7 days. The court has ordered the Attorney General to file a statement in 7 days. These are the reliefs sought by Richard Delaskai in the anti-LGBTQ+ suit against Parliament. 1. A declaration that upon a truer and proper interpretation of Article 33, Clause 5 of the Constitution, in light of Article 12, Clause 1, Subclause 2, Article 15, Clause 1, and Article 17, Clause 1 of the Human, Sexual Rights and Family Values Bill 2024 by the Parliament on 28 February 2024, contravened the Constitution and is to that extent null, void, and no effect. 2. A declaration that the Speaker of Parliament contravened Article 108, Clause A, Subclause 1 of the Constitution in light of Articles 296, Clause A, B, and C, by admitting and allowing Parliament to proceed upon and pass the Human, Sexual Rights and Family Value Bills 2024 into law, as the same imposes a charge upon the Consolidated Fund other public funds of Ghana. 3. A declaration that Parliament exceeded its authority under Articles 106 Clause 2 and Articles 108 Clause A, I, in passing the Human, Sexual Rights and Family Value Bills 2024, and the same imposes a change upon the Consolidated Fund or other public funds of Ghana. 4. A declaration that upon the true and proper interpretation of Articles 102 and 104 Clause 1 of the Constitution, Parliament lacked the requisite quorum to pass the Human, Sexual Rights and Family Values Bill 2024. These are the reliefs sought by Richard Delaskai in the anti-LGBTQ+ suit against Parliament. An order restraining the Speaker of Parliament and the Clerk of Parliament from presenting the Human and Sexual Values Bill 2024 to the President of the Republic for his assent. An order restraining the President of the Republic from assenting to the Human and Sexual Values Bill 2024, as such action will directly contravene the constitutional safeguards of liberties and rights of Ghanaians. An injunction barring any attempts to enforce the provisions of the Human Sexual Rights and Family Values Bill 2024, particularly those criminalizing same-sex relationships and related advocacy efforts. 8. Such further orders or directions as to this honorable court may seem meet. And that's what they were looking for. That's what Richard Delaskai, the relief sought by Richard Delaskai in the anti-LGBTQ plus suit against Parliament. Ghana's Parliament passed the highly controversial anti-LGBTQ plus bill when that could send some people to prison for more than a decade. The bill was introduced to Parliament and criminalizes members of the LGBTQ plus community as well as its supporters, including promotion and funding of related activities and public displays of affection. The bill sent to the President's desk. The bill, after it had been passed, was sent to the President's desk to be signed into law. And the bill seeks, and a group says that the bill seeks to infringe on, among others, the rights to dignity, freedom of speech, freedom of association, freedom to partake in processions, academic freedom, quality, and non-discrimination. This is a group that is against the bill that Parliament has passed. One of the groups against the bill said so. Also, the Accra High Court refused request to compel President Akufo-Addo to receive the anti-LGBTQ bill. And the suit was filed by Member of Parliament Roxanne Nelson Dafiamekpo on March 25. In his suit, the MP sought several declarations and orders regarding the powers of the President under the 1992 Constitution. And Honorable Dafiamekpo, amongst other things, asked for a declaration that, according to Article 109 of the Constitution, a president can only assent or refuse to assent to a bill within 7 days until the bill had been referred to the Council of State. He was seeking a declaration that the president cannot prevent Parliament from transmitting a bill that had been passed to him. Again, Honorable Dafiamekpo wanted a declaration that a letter dated March 18, 2024, addressed to the Clerk of Parliament and signed by the Secretary to the President, Nana Asante Bediatuo, was in contravention of the Constitution. Hence, the President must withdraw the letter. But addressing the High Court, the lawyers of the Attorney General, represented by the State Attorney Sylvia Adesu, argued that the High Court had no jurisdiction to grant the application filed by Honorable Dafiamekpo. And Justice Ellen Muriku, in her ruling, indicated that the court had jurisdiction but dismissed the application using her discretionary powers. She noted that the suits filed by private citizens, Professor Amanda Odwe and Richard Delaskai, had direct implications on the application and hence could not approve the relief sought by Honorable Dafiamekpo, the MP for South Dai. On February 28, Parliament passed the Proper Human Sexual Rights and Ghanaian Family Bill. We are trying to establish contact with Richard Delaskai, a plaintiff in the case, as we want to understand more on the case, especially after Supreme Court has directed the Attorney General's Department to file their case in 7 days. She did that yesterday. They gave the Attorney General 7 days extension to file a statement. So we're trying to establish contact with Richard Delaskai for more on this. But Parliament passed the Proper Human Sexual Rights and Ghanaian Family Bill on Wednesday, February 28th. Among other things, the bill punishes those who take part in LGBTQ sexual acts, as well as those who promote the rights of gay, lesbian, or other non-conventional sexual or gender identities with time in prison. Although a section of the Ghanaian public have welcomed the bill, others have raised concerns about the bill. Many have raised concerns about this bill that it infringes on the rights of persons. It infringes on the human rights of persons in Ghana. We are still trying to establish contact with Richard Delaskai. But whilst we do that, let's get into our second discussion for the day on the declaration of vacant seats. Alan Tremantin, who is the leader for the Movement of Change, says that what the Supreme Court did was unconstitutional. Alan Tremantin has called the Supreme Court's decision as unconstitutional and has urged the Speaker of Parliament also to respect the Supreme Court's ruling, while promptly seeking to overturn the Majority Leader Fenyo Markin's application, which led to the injunction. He is saying that the Speaker of Parliament respects the Supreme Court's decision, although he has called it unconstitutional. He emphasized that the Supreme Court should maintain the principle of separation of powers, respecting Parliament's autonomy. He says Supreme Court should respect Parliament's autonomy in decisions made by the Speaker, and highlighting the significance of cooperation between the branches of government. Mr. Tremantin cautioned that prolonged disputes could have negative repercussions, especially with elections fast approaching, and called for a swift resolution of the matter. Let's speak with Courage Nobi. Courage Nobi is a Deputy Director of Policy for the Movement of Change. We will understand what the Movement of Change led by Alan Tremantin is saying, but let's listen to Alan Tremantin when he made his statement.
I want to emphasize this. This order, however, can only be made by the Speaker of Parliament if and only if the Supreme Court makes a ruling in favor of Parliament in the determination of the substantive case currently before it. Ladies and gentlemen, with barely 4 weeks to the general elections, it is absolutely critical that all parties, that is the judiciary, the legislature, the executive, and indeed the citizenry of Ghana work towards a resolution of this delicate matter to ensure a peaceful path towards the 2024 general elections in December. I thank you for your kind attention. God bless our homeland Ghana and make our nation great and strong.
Also, that's Alan Tremantin, the leader for Movement for Change. He's had his also to say on the Supreme Court's decision, Parliament's decision, the Speaker's decision, and let's speak with Courage Nobi. He is the Deputy Director of Policy for the Movement for Change. Good morning, Courage. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Good morning.
Courage, what is the Movement of Change bearing? What is the bearing of Movement of Change in all of these conversations?
Sorry, could you speak up a bit, please?
Hello, Courage. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you clear now.
What is the bearing for Movement of Change in all of this conversation?
I'm sure the question is in respect of the current brouhaha between the Parliament and the Supreme Court. Hello? Hello? Hello?
No.
Okay. All right. I think, all well-meaning Ghanaians are concerned about the trajectory of our country and the turn of events between the two arms of parliament, of government. We believe that it is absolutely important that the separation of powers which is enshrined in the 1992 Constitution is respected, and that the courts in particular do not assume or take on a political persona, but constrain themselves to the proper implementation of law or proper decisions of law. What we are seeing is worrying, where the court is taking on a more political constraint rather than legal. And that is why we believe that the attempt of the Supreme Court to interfere in the work of Parliament is unfortunate and should not be the case.
Have explained that the Supreme Court was only doing what it's mandated by the Constitution to interpret the provisions in the Constitution. So because someone took the issue to Supreme Court, they had no other. The Supreme Court had to sit on the matter and interpret it, and do not see any issue with any interference of Supreme Court into the matters of Parliament. The Supreme Court only did what they had been mandated to do.
I think usually there are all these convenient arguments that particularly political actors would make. It is no surprise. It is no surprise to anybody when politicians alike decide to flip-flop on a matter. What is strange is when you have the Supreme Court conduct itself in a manner that deviates from its own pattern, conduct itself in a manner that suggests a certain political leaning, conduct itself in a manner that erodes that quality of a court which is predictability. And that is what we are concerned about. The people of Central Kofi, Akpafu, Lilipe, which we call SAW, has been pending. In as much as the Electoral Commission disenfranchised thousands of Ghanaians in that constituency, the case has been pending before the court till today. What makes the constituents of the four said constituents different or more important, or, if you may, more citizens than the people of South? So it is based on the court's own conduct that some of us are worried about the democracy of our country. And you see, the courts remain the last bastion of protection for our democracy. And so whenever it happens that people perceive the court not to be fair, not to be consistent in its application of the law or how they approach matters of the law, it is problematic. We do not think that in the administrative behavior of Parliament, particularly where there is precedent, the court should be stretching its arm to try and control or curtail the business of Parliament.
So you will stand by your words that the court is trying to control Parliament?
We believe that, as Alante Martin properly said, the court's ruling in respect of the decision that the Speaker took is unconstitutional.
Speaker's decision is a decision that everybody should have abided by?
Absolutely. You know, the Speaker of Parliament, unfortunately, this is not the first time. I'm saying this is about the third time that that particular rule has been applied. And so, if not for political convenience, even the people who went to court, you know, this case, I believe the Honorable Afenyo Markin is playing absolute political mischief by even running to the court in the first place. And to see the level of vehemence, the level of alacrity that the court, you know, attached to responding to the matter You know, when there's a case that's been pending before the court for almost 4 years now, that has not seen the same level of alacrity, the same level of seriousness attached to it, then it's problematic. And that's why we believe that Parliament must be allowed to do its work. It's for no reason that in our laws, the principles of separation of powers is heavily enshrined. You know, so the Speaker's call, we believe, is right. It is a simple matter of giving meaning to a provision that is in our laws. It's been applied before and it's been applied now, and the application is consistent. You know, it smacks of political mischief for anybody to run to the court and try to use the court to, if you may, give it political solutions.
But if it has been applied before and it was applied in bad faith, does it mean that because there has been a precedent, it should continue?
There is not a single record to us pertaining the applications that would signal that those applications were not were unconstitutional or not properly done. So, for example, if those actions were deemed to be wrong, it could have been challenged, but it has not been challenged. In fact, the person who is now in court challenging this was a beneficiary of the decisions in the past. And so when you were benefiting, you saw nothing wrong with it, and today that you seem to be at the receiving end, then all of a sudden it is wrong. We cannot have people who flip-flop on the matter of law, and that is why one of the qualities of a judicial system is certainty of the law. Certainty of the law. You know, that breeds confidence in the law.
If this continues and Speaker does not set aside, it means that 4 constituencies will lack representation in Parliament. Is this what we want? And won't it be problematic for us?
I do not think that those 4 are any different from the constituencies in the past. I do not think that they are any different from where the constituents continue not to have representation at all in the entire 4 years. You know, so that consistency is important. If we think that it is no problem that thousands of citizens in Seoul have not been represented for nearly 4 years, then not being represented for a matter of 6 weeks shouldn't be a problem as well. It is just that somebody believes that it tilts the balance of power in Parliament. And that is why they are concerned, not because they are concerned about the citizens and their representation. Again, the Constitution tries to prevent absurdity. Absurdity. What is happening is like the Constitution of Ghana frowns, or civil marriage frowns on adulterous behavior, so that whilst you are in one marriage, you cannot afford to be getting married to another person. What the situation we have now is a married man who wants to marry another woman whilst he's not divorced from their current marriage. And you cannot have a dual capacity per time. That at one point, you are representing some constituents on the political party ticket, and in that same breath, you are again contesting before state people on another party's ticket. It doesn't work. It doesn't.
Courage,
so that kind of absurdity is what the Constitution tries to cure by saying that if you cross carpet or purport to now go as an independent candidate, you automatically lose your position in Parliament. Let the constituents decide that for the decision of that member of Parliament, which has in a way made them lose their representation, they are going to punish the person at the post. That is for the citizens to determine at the post. It is not for the court to try and outreach itself in seeking to give political relief to the governing party.
Courage, is this not a case of movements of change trying to score political points as we enter into the elections?
I think if it was about scoring political points, this is not a matter that we'll be interested in at any point in time. I don't know what political capital it gives us. The reason why Movement for Change is concerned is because this is at the very heart of our democracy. Without our democracy, there's no government, there's no thing that attacks the sanctity of our democracy must be a concern for all well-meaning Ghanaians. And the Movement for Change and its leader are concerned about these developments because of their potential harm to our democracy as a country.
Your flag bearer said that the Supreme Court acted unconstitutionally. In another vein, he's entreating the Speaker to obey the ruling. Isn't he contradicting himself?
Hello, Abner. Sorry, I lost you on that.
Well, Courage, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yes, your flag bearer said that the Supreme Court acted unconstitutionally. In another vein, he's urging the Speaker to obey the ruling. Is he not contradicting himself?
I think it's a matter of stating. It's a matter of stating the facts of law. You know, Alan Martin is a lawyer. He's been a lawyer since 1984. You know, who runs a law firm, Law Plus. So he knows what he's talking about. It's a matter of stating the legal position and urging that, see, the two wrongs we say do not make a right. So even if the Supreme Court is erring, you do not also want to come to a situation where we have a stalemate. So you comply while using the necessary legal means, okay, to set it aside. And that is why it is important, so that our democracy does not suffer a stalemate. Otherwise, then it becomes a matter of egos. But that is not what this is about. This is about running a country. This is about managing and sustaining a democracy that has survived the last 32 years. So yes, you took an action. The Supreme Court may have erred in its core. What you do is to concern yourself, obey what the Supreme Court is saying, and then go back to the Supreme Court to set it aside.
Okay.
To set it aside.
Courage, your Movement for Change is set to have a walk tomorrow, a walk in Accra. Run us through what tomorrow is about.
Thank you. You know that the Movement for Change is set out to ensure that we give Ghanaians real, meaningful alternative at the polls, an alternative to the duopoly that has proven dysfunctional in the last 32 years, not been able to yield the transformation that Ghanaians desire. What is happening tomorrow is a sequel to what we did in Ashanti region a few weeks ago, what we call the Mega Victory Walk. Thousands of young people have volunteered themselves to be part of this movement to bring change to our body politics. It is those thousands of young people who are the volunteers, plus people who believe in the Movement for Change and its candidate, Alan Martin, who are being called upon tomorrow to show presence. Let us go on a peaceful march through the principal streets of Accra, beginning from Obra Sports Circle, to send home a clear message that this election is not going to be business as usual. That the two major political parties, the MPP and the NDC, cannot continue to take citizens of Ghana for granted just by the mere fact that they believe there is no alternative to them. And so that force is what will be gathering tomorrow on the streets of Accra. And we urge all supporters of the Movement for Change, particularly the teeming young people, members of the Yellow Army, to come out in their numbers as we march for a peaceful victory in elections 2024.
Courage, how is it looking for the Movement of Change? Right from the get-go, you have said that you are here to break the duopoly. At the moment, since you started your campaigns and all, how is it looking? Is it looking positive for you?
Yeah, of course. I mean, we've been aware that it's quite a Herculean task, and so we've been pushing at it. We've done a lot of work. You can see that in the various outings that we've had, but we believe that there's still a lot more work to be done, and that's why we've kept our legs on the pedal and we keep going. We are going to leave no stone unturned all the way till December 7th, and we are trusting that the good people of Ghana who have heard the transformative agenda that the Movement for Change presents in its great transformational plan, that brings a drastic, pragmatic departure from what we've already known, that the Ghanaian people will endorse the credible candidature of Alanche Martin, a leader par excellence, so that we begin to see some true transformational leadership in this country. So we'll continue to work hard, and we are trusting that the good people of Ghana would do us good by giving us the mandate to transform this country.
Courage, there have been calls for debate. Your flag bearer pulled out of a debate earlier. If another debate is set, should we look forward to seeing Mr. Alanche Martin mounting the podium to speak?
Of course, debates are a very healthy part of every meaningful democracy. And, on the basis of the superiority of our candidature and the superiority of our ideas, we do not shy away from any debate at all. However, we will not be part of any process that in itself is a sham. So the fact that we would love to engage does not mean that anything at all that is organized will be part of. Should we be convinced that this is a credible platform that is put together, a very credible and robust process for a meaningful engagement, the Movement for Change will avail itself to be part of it.
So the initial debate you pulled out from, would you say, per your explanation right now, are you saying that it was not a credible platform to have debated on?
I'm not sure of which particular platform that was. However, you can agree with me that any debate platform that excludes any of the members of the duopoly, really, it's not a serious platform. Okay. So then there will not be any endeavor worth our time as a movement.
Okay. We are grateful for your time this morning, Courage.
Thank you very much for having me up.
Courage Nobi is the Deputy Director for Policy for the Movement for Change. He is the Deputy Director for Policy Movement for Change. And this conversation on the vacant seat in Parliament's dilemma, whereas Alanche Martin says that the Supreme Court's decision was unconstitutional. However, in another vein, he urges or entreats the Speaker of Parliament to abide by the ruling of the Supreme Court. We will be back. Stay with us.
Million children have benefited from free SHS. Protect free SHS. Vote Dr. Baumia #1 on the ballot.
The NPP inherited a fragmented digital infrastructure that limited public service efficiency. Since then, we've revolutionized how services are delivered with the Ghana card and mobile money interoperability, enhancing speed and accessibility. Our efforts have greatly improved government interactions, making life easier for every Ghanaian. However, our vision doesn't stop here. We aim to further expand and modernize Ghana's digital landscape. The journey towards a fully integrated digital society continues. Stand with us. Vote for innovation. Vote for Baumia. Baumia means business. In 2017, the NPP inherited a fragmented digital infrastructure that limited public service efficiency. Since then, we've revolutionized how services are delivered with the Ghana card.
In 2017, the NPP inherited an infrastructure network in need of renewal. We've since focused on building modern, resilient infrastructure, expanding roads, railways, and housing through strong partnerships with the private sector. As we enter the next chapter, a revitalized public works department will lead maintenance, with local governments enhancing district roads, We are committed to expanding railways and upgrading airports to connect Ghana for a stronger future. While much has been achieved, there's still more to do. Vote for Bawumia. Bawumia means business.
We're still on our main discussion, but you're reminded that the Poll Center is here for all of your credible news on the elections. You should be tuning into ABC News GH for the Poll Center. At the Poll Center, we say votes, not violence. As we prepare for the elections, during the elections and after the elections, you should be mindful of your actions, your utterances, and everything that characterizes the elections. It is votes. Votes and votes only, not violence. Don't be used as a conduit to perpetuate violence in this elections. But into our conversation, Dr. Bawumia has challenged former President Mahama to a debate amidst exchange of questions. Dr. Bawumia says that former President Mahama, Mr. Mahama, come for a debate. Come for a debate. The NDC has already said that they are not going to debate on any platform. They are not ready for a debate. And the NPP have also said that the NDC knows that their arguments would be empty. That's why they are running away from a debate. Mr. Mahama on a campaign platform says he has 5 questions for Dr. Bawumia. He listed his questions. In turn, Bawumia, in answering the questions, gave Mr. Mahama some 50 questions, with the 49th question making all of the headways. The question about the NDC's 24-hour economy. Dr. Bawumia says Mr. Mahama should provide a coherent explanation on the policy. So he is calling the NDC's John Mahama for a debate. Let's speak with Kofi Akin-Opoku, a member of the NPP communications team. Hello, Kofi. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me this morning.
Kofi, why is Dr. Bawumia and the NPP so concerned about a debate? Why do you need a debate at all costs?
Very good morning to yourself and your cherished listeners. I think that in any civilized democracy that you can find around the world, where people man up to contest for key positions like the president of a republic, what you do is that you should be available to explain your thought and vision for the Ghanaian people. It happens in any civilized democracy. And so what Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is saying that, look, I have been vice president before. I am currently the leader and flag bearer of the NPP. You have been vice president. You have been president. And you are coming up again to be president of the Republic of Ghana. Why don't we meet? Why don't we share our thoughts, our vision through a debate? Ask me questions, let me ask you questions, so that the Ghanaian people can find out the kind of presidents that they are voting for. And I think that this shouldn't be too difficult for the former president, who now is on the touch lines, on campaign trails, rather posing questions. Let us have the debate one-on-one. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, His Excellency the former president, and let us have those intellectual, debates. What is so strange about, having a debate? If I should also ask the NDC and, the former president.
Could it be that the MPP does not see themselves as the preferred choice for the elections this year? That's why you, by all means, want the NDC to come for a debate. In this way, you may endear yourselves to the Ghanaian people. Could it be the case?
Like I said, it is the former president, right? Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has consistently, made it to the Ghanaian people, going around the constituency and the various regions, meeting key stakeholders, telling them about his vision,
telling them about his achievement and telling them about what he thinks he can do to push Ghana's agenda forward. Mr. Mahama is also doing same. But when you find out Mr. Mahama day in and day out going to meet stakeholders and trying to pose questions, trying to poke noses into the campaign of Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, then we have to say that, okay, see, when you go to the USA, it is done over there. When you go to any civilized democracy, it is done over there. So sit down. Let us sit down. Let us have moderators, okay? Let them ask us pertinent questions. Because you cannot sit on your campaign trail where you have your campaign apparatchiks or your party apparatchiks over there, and then you'll be throwing questions here and there. Who should answer them? Who should answer those questions? But once we have that forum where the Ghanaian people will have the opportunity, where there is a moderator, say your vision, let me say my vision, pose your questions, let me pose my question. And at the end of the day, the Ghanaian people will find out that indeed it is in Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia that we have a future in Ghana. Maybe that is why the former president is running, because I don't understand that you claim that Ghana is in a state of shame, that Ghana is in a state that, you know, the states that you left Ghana, we have destroyed Ghana. And we are saying that, okay, come, let's have the debate. Let the whole world know that indeed Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia and the NPP has destroyed Ghana, and you are saying no. So what does the former president want us to do? If he does not want a debate, then he shouldn't be on campaign trails posing questions. Because if he poses questions, they will tell him that, please, you don't determine how questions should be answered. You don't determine where in the forum for these questions should be answered. You have asked 5 questions, we have asked you 50 questions, and now you are there saying stupid and insulting. I've never seen this in the history of Ghana, that a former president will be on a campaign train and be throwing tantrums here, insulting, abusive words. A former president too. This is the kind of president that, you know, the NDC has presented, that the good people of Ghana should vote for him again. But I mean, I believe that the Ghanaian people are discerning, they are watching. We have run a campaign devoid of insults. All this campaign that the NPP and Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia is running is a campaign of issue. We are not running the campaign on the basis of, oh, things are hard. No, yeah, we believe that things are hard, but Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia is professing solutions to our problems. His Excellency former President John Dramani Mahama, if he thinks that his solutions are superior, he should come on the debate platform and let us debate for the Ghanaian people to take a decision.
How will this debate help the cause of the NPP? How will this debate
you see, it is not as if the debate is going to, advance the cause of the NPP in a positive way. Okay, what even shows that the debate is not going to, bring out the weaknesses in the flag bearership or in the candidacy of Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia? Why is everybody saying that the debate is going to favor His Excellency Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia? Is it not the same NDC that portrays His Excellency former president as the communication messiah? So what I say, is it not the same NDC that is projecting, the former president as somebody that when it comes to public speaking and all of that, he's top-notch? In any case, is it not the same NDC that is projecting the current flag bearer of the NPP as being a liar? So come on the same podium, come on the same platform, the whole world will be watching, and then let the whole world know that indeed Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia is a liar. But do you know what they are afraid of? They are afraid of the intellectual strength of the flag bearer and the good case and vision and bold solutions that Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia has for this country. And they know that at any point in time where Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia stands somewhere, former President John Dramani Mahama is on the same platform, the good people of Ghana will choose Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, because they'll be able to know that indeed it is Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia that has the bold solutions to move Ghana forward, and not the usual propaganda and insult and abusive language that the former president of his nature should be using on campaign trails.
Mr. Mahama says this election is about the economy, and the NPP flag bearer is trying to run away from it because he has mismanaged the economy. As the chair for the EMT, he hasn't done what he should have done. That is why you are running away from it. Is this so?
nobody has run away from the economy. In fact, on the campaign trail, right, when you look at Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia lecture at UPSC and meeting stakeholders, he has never run away from the economy. In any case, when we say the economy is not just about exchange rates. Do you understand me? What Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, when economy encompasses our educational sector, our health sector, our energy sector, broad-based social intervention, all of these things are part of the economy. And so Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, where we feel, or where the MPP feel that, see, for example, cost of living. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has admitted that indeed cost of living is high. And in fact, when any class 4 person, right, who will Google around, will know the factors that is causing this high cost of living. But then Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia again has preferred solutions that he thinks that when it is implemented, for example, by reducing the cost of electricity by 50%, by bringing on board solar, energy to augment the traditional generation of our energy, to reduce cost of electricity, which will in turn reduce cost of living. This is what Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is saying. What is John Dramani Mahama and his NDC also saying? They talk about 24-hour economy. When you ask them about explanation, they'll tell you that we rear lions and giraffes. They talk about 24-hour economy. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is telling them, the former president would also sit on
but
a manifesto.
They have explained, that the 24 economy is 1-3-3, 1 job, 3 people, 3 shifts. I haven't heard anywhere that they say about lions and giraffes.
Oh, you didn't hear their communication member, in the Ashanti region. He said that, the 24-hour economy, they'll be rearing giraffes and lions. You haven't heard about that.
Kofi, you believe that?
Even
Do you believe that?
The former president even told us that the 24-hour economy, it is going to be an operation of disco. So in the morning, people will go to the disco and they'll go and dance. In the afternoon, the same, and then.
Kofi, aren't you being mischievous about this?
I am not being mischievous. The former president, in the presentation of the manifesto, their party manifesto, said that in the 24-hour economy, discos will operate 24 hours. Didn't you hear that? So I am not being mischievous. I am only telling you the kind of explanations they are giving to their 24-hour economy. But in any case, you have a fine opportunity to explain this during the debate. Why is he running away?
Okay. Well, Kofi, thank you for speaking to us this morning. Why is he running away? Kofi Akins is asking the flag bearer of the NDC, John Mahama. Vice President Bawumia has challenged former President Mahama to a debate amidst the exchange of questions. Mahama put 5 questions to him. Bawumia has in turn put 50 questions to Mahama. And that's all for our discussion this morning on ABC in the Morning. Stay with us. We will be back soon.
Budget review with some key allocations.
We are currently here at Kamisu
When the news breaks, we are there. In the heart of matters arising, we follow through with the right question. Don't miss a beat with our in-depth news analysis. From breaking news, special feature stories, latest news, we bring you the stories that matter. Our team of immersed reporters bring you the news as it happens. Join us every 6 a.m., 12 p.m., and 6 p.m. each day for a comprehensive look at the stories beyond the headlines.
2 to 1.
You're watching ABC News GH.
ABC News GH, your trusted source for news.
Media budget.
For staying with us on ABC in the morning. We are going into politics today. Today on politics, we are looking at the elections again. In the lead up to the elections, so many conversations about the elections will happen, and so that's what we bring into you on politics today. It is up next. On politics today, this morning, we are looking at the fate of the December 7 elections in Bawku. The fate of the December 7 elections in Bawku amidst the conflict. There's a conflict happening in Bawku. Today, the death toll has risen. 2 more people have died. And the Bawku conflict, primarily rooted in chieftaincy disputes and ethnic tensions, has led to significant unrest in the area over the past few years. The recent escalation follows the return of a rival chief, which ignited tensions between different ethnic groups in the area. The situation has escalated in recent months with clashes between various groups, resulting in fatalities and widespread fear among residents. Security forces have been deployed to maintain peace, but incidents of violence continue to occur. The death toll in the recent escalation stands at 19, following the shooting of 2 more persons just yesterday. With 36 days until Ghana's 2024 elections, residents in 9 constituencies in and around Bawku may face challenges in casting their votes. Constituencies at risk include Binduri, Pusiga, Bawku Central, Zebila, Bongo, Bolgatanga Central and East, Bisila North and South, Chiana Paga, and Garu. Security in the Bawku Township has been reinforced to uphold the curfew, seen as a setback in peace-building efforts. Security analysts warn that if the government does not find a sustainable resolution before December 7, electoral activity could be severely impacted. This has already led NPP parliamentary candidates to suspend their campaigns. Let's speak with a parliamentary candidate in one of the affected constituencies, and we are joined by Dr. John Krugu. He is the NPP parliamentary candidate for Zebila. Thank you for joining us, Dr. Krugu.
Thank you. Good morning.
Sir, please, I want to make sure I have your name right. Is it Dr. John Krugu or Dr. John Krugu?
Yeah, it is Dr. John Krugu.
Krugu. Thank you, sir. Yeah. Pardon me for butchering it earlier.
Yeah, no problem.
What will it take for the elections to come off in the constituencies within the conflict areas of Bawku?
Oh, this is a very simple question. I mean, you have an illegitimate, and I'm using the words of the government, an illegitimate chief brought from Nalerego to Bawku, and that is what has caused all this mayhem. And so the solution is very simple: to take the illegitimate chief out of Bawku, and fighting will stop, and law and order will be restored, public safety will be restored. In fact, if you read the statement that was issued by the Ministry of Interior, there are two important points in that statement. Point number one is that the one who has been brought in is illegitimate, is mentioned in that letter. And point number two, that the continuing stay of that person in Bawku poses extensive public threat, a risk to public safety. So that is very clear in that letter. So I don't think in the minds of anybody there is any doubt as to what is the solution. We are all just waiting for government to walk the talk. If you say that this man is illegitimate, and you say that this person continuous stay poses a threat to public safety, then of course the solution should be obvious to everybody. Get this man out of the place, and let's restore safety and public order, so that we are talking about 6 constituencies, and we are also talking about people from these tribes scattered around the country. So the impact even goes beyond the 6 constituencies. As long as you don't restore law and order in Bawku, we are going to continue to have a problem, and the elections will be at risk. Not only in the 6 constituencies. If you, the people are very people who travel a lot. If you go to Tepa, Gosu area, if you go to Awurum constituency, the man contesting the election there, one Mr. Banga is from Isekusa as a man, and if you go to Ashama, you go to many other different places, the risk is spread all over the country, and there is only one solution: take this guy out of Bawku, and let's have a peaceful election. So it's a very simple matter.
At the moment, with all of what is happening, how are you faring?
No, at the moment, people like me, my life is at great risk, and my supporters' lives are at risk, and so we have completely suspended the campaign. Our campaign is at ground zero. We are doing nothing, and on top of that, the Traditional Council has issued a statement banning NPP activities, everything that has to do with the NPP in the constituencies. And as I speak, almost every banner or a campaign poster, that also has the image of His Excellency the Vice President has either been torn or bent or pulled down. And this is where we are. And as long as we remain in this situation, it is very bad. It is not good for anybody. And for me, the politics is not even as important. As of this morning, officially, you have 19 people whose lives has been taken in the last 1 week. 19 in 1 week. And I use the word officially very carefully because what we have in Boku now is a war situation. And in war, people don't report when their workforces, when they are losing their workforces. And that is the reason why I use the word officially carefully, because I am aware much more lives have been lost than the 19 that is reported in the media. And for me, this is completely unacceptable. And when you are heading towards a general election, assuming that somebody really wants to fight to be chief, why can't it wait so that we cross the general election? Because in such a close, tight campaign that we are running, tensions are already high. And so when you bring these kind of things to muddy the waters, it is just bad with a capital B. And we are on tenterhooks every day hoping that government would take the right step to restore law and order and bring public safety to bear so that we can then decide how to proceed with our campaign or whatever options will be on the table we can take. But for now, we are at ground zero, and all of us, our lives are at risk. The likes of me is not able to keep quiet, so I open my mouth widely. That puts me even at higher risk. But same is the lives that have been lost. They are also human beings. So for me, at this point, there's nothing to hold back. We just have to speak the truth and ask for action, urgent action from government.
Doctor, are you at the moment in Boko?
I am currently not in Boku, but I'm not far from Boku.
So, because we want to find out how the situation is from your lens and how your campaign has been affected by all of what is happening.
Oh, as for my campaign being affected, I just told you that we are at ground zero. We're doing absolutely nothing because we have suspended our campaign. We have packed our tools, and on top of that, I took that decision before later on the traditional council held a meeting, and this is a big traditional area. It covers 6 constituencies. They held a meeting, and they have also issued a statement banning all MPP activities in all the 6 constituencies until the illegal chief is taken out of Boku. And so this is where we are. As for campaign being affected, the least said about it, the better, because we are at ground zero. Nothing is happening at all. And this is, we simply don't know what to do else. It doesn't make sense to do anything other than to just sit back and hope. At this point, none of us have the capacity or the power or the authority to do anything except to just advocate and call for urgent action from government. And once the state acknowledges publicly that the continuity of the illegal chief poses serious threat to public safety, I don't think anybody should be telling the state what exactly to do. So this is where we are.
Doc, you said that although it's been reported that 19 persons have been killed, you believe that more have been killed. Can you give us a rough estimate of the number of people you believe have died as a result of the conflict?
I think that actual numbers should be hitting around 100 by now. And let me also say something that most people will not tell you. People have died in this past 1 week, and nobody can make up their identity from both factions. What that suggests to me is that there seems to have been hired assailants, either across the border, to come and fight. Because why is it that somebody dies and the dead body, nobody can make the person up as belonging to family A or family B or tribe A or tribe B? So that suggests to me that there is even engagement of assailants outside the borders, and that is, to say the least, even a higher risk. You know, I know that about a week or so ago there was this question of terrorist attempts to come to Ghana. Government debunked it, security agencies debunked it, and all of that. Yes, we are happy that they debunked it, but I have also seen people who have died in the conflict, and we cannot trace their identity. These are very serious matters that we all need to take note of. So for me, what is reported in the media is just a tip of the iceberg.
Okay. But would you say the curfew has had any effect on the conflict going on? Has it mitigated the issue a bit, or the curfew has just not solved any problem in any way?
The curfew always stops the shooting in the night, because then people are not allowed to go outside and do the shooting that was happening. But you see, the curfew only makes people more angry and even more prepared to die. And this is the reason. Among these 19 reported deaths, about 10 of those deaths happened around Wale, you know, on the road. And so people are angry. That the Boku people are very, very angry. That why is the curfew imposed in Boku and not in Wale, where people stand by the roadside and stop buses and kill people? So as long as the curfew remains only in Boku and not in Wale, people are very angry about it. And when you use state force to contrive people, and their anger goes up, they get more angry, more mad, that has nowhere near a solution to the problem in Boku, because how long can you keep people in curfew? And it is also a limited time for the curfew. They come out, and they come out in anger. And so you notice yesterday there was a truck moving to Misiga, and they got shot. You know, yesterday they killed 2 people. So as long as you know that this is the solution and you are not doing that, and you are putting curfew or forcing people and all of that, none of that for me is a solution. Okay. It is just a very simple matter. Take that illegal chief out of Boku, and there will be peace. And we can cross the election, and tensions will go down. And anybody who wants to pursue a chieftaincy case can go back to do that. But for now, nothing makes sense at all.
Take out the illegal chief out of Boku, and there will be peace. That is your suggestion, or that is how you would advise government to, that's the path you would advise government to take, so that we can have the elections in Boku.
If you read the statement issued by the Ministry of Interior, that is inside there.
You have just 1 minute remaining. You can down.
Well, so we are speaking with Dr. John Krugu. He is a parliamentary candidate for Zebila for the NPP. He says we should take out the illegal chief out of Boko and there will be peace. And the curfew in Boko at the moment, he says, it has only stopped the killing. It has stopped the killings at night, and says that the curfew is rather making people angry, because if you look at where the curfew is in Boko, mothers are asking why the curfew is not in places like Wale Wale where the killings happened, and only in Boko. So these are some of the questions that have been raised amidst all of what is happening in Boko. We are looking at the fate of the December 7 elections in Boko amidst the conflict that is happening. We would look at establishing contact with Dr. John Krugu so that we can fully exhaust the conversation. But beyond that, he says that the actual killings in Boko should be hitting about 100, and that the 19 reported in the media is just the tip of the iceberg. People have died and nobody can make out their identities. He says that it supposes that some of the persons who have been part of this conflict are hired assailants outside the borders of Boko. So that's it for politics today, this morning on ABC in the morning. Thank you for joining us on Politics Today. We'll bring you happy hour and executive interview before we go. But on executive interview, we keep telling you the executive interview is the segments for you. You want to talk about your startup, your service, your product. Get in touch with us so that we can give you more on executive interview. You can call us on 053-916-1609, 053-916-1609, so that you will be featured on executive interview. Our poll center is open. Poll center is open. We're bringing you all of the credible news for the elections throughout this period. We'll take you back to previous elections and tie it into this elections. And our campaign is votes, not violence. Before, during, and after the elections, what is most needed is your thumb for the elections. Pay attention to your vote and go back to your home. Don't be used as a conduit for any form of violence. So votes, not violence. And that's it for our poll center. Let's take a breather. We will be back with happy hour and executive interview.
mobile money interoperability, enhancing speed and accessibility. Our efforts have greatly improved government interactions, making life easier for every Ghanaian. However, our vision doesn't stop here. We aim to further expand and modernize Ghana's digital landscape. The journey towards a fully integrated digital society continues. Stand with us. Vote for innovation.
Over the past 8 years, the NPP has significantly improved support for our most vulnerable citizens. From expanding school meal programs, enrolling 300,000 more people in the LEAP initiative, enhancing healthcare for expectant mothers, we've strengthened the fabric of our society. But our work isn't done. We are committed to further enhancing these programs and introducing new initiatives to ensure that every Ghanaian has the opportunity to thrive. Vote for progress. Vote for care. Vote for Baumia. Baumia means business.
Watching ABC in the morning. Up next is executive interview. Executive interview is the segment for you. You get to talk about the industry you are in, your startup, your service, your product, whatever you are selling to the general public. Come and talk to us about it. Would help you advertise it here on executive interview. Would help you bring Ghanaians' mind on what you are doing. So to come on executive interview, call us on 0539161609, 0539161609. Executive interview is up next. On executive interview today, we are looking at the print industry. The print industry, navigating trends, technology, and customer expectations, and focus on the Sweet Aroma Print. Sweet Aroma Print. And our guest today is the CEO of Sweet Aroma Print. He is Jacob Shamate. We will be speaking with him on his versatile printing service firm and what they do. His firm is dedicated to high quality printing and branding solutions, and they have made a name for themselves in various services, including general printing, plaques, souvenirs, branding, embroidery, engraving, citations, custom gift sets, and graphic and website design. We'll be diving into their journey and the innovations behind Sweet Aroma Print, so that we can hear from Jacob Shamate on what has set his business apart in this competitive industry. This competitive printing industry, what has set his business apart. So we are throwing the focus on the light on the Sweet Aroma Print. So when you look on your screen, you see some of the work that the Sweet Aroma Print have done, the works they have done in the course of their business. Some very sleek work. We'll find out what has set them apart from the others in the industry. So that's what we are doing on executive interview today. If you also want to be featured on executive interview, get in touch with us on 0539161609, 0539161609, and you will be featured on executive interview. Would open the general public up to your industry, to the service you provide, to that startup that you are undertaking. so that everyone will know about the work you two are doing in your own small way. We've spoken to Reading Ghana, Reading Clinic there, and they are into reading, anything reading. We threw some spotlight on them. We also we had a conversation with Nufu Foundation, who have been doing a lot of work on breast cancer, looking at breast cancer on the whole and placing more emphasis on it. So today we are looking at the print industry, and we are throwing the spotlight on the Sweet Aroma Print. CEO is Jacob Shamate, and he joins us. Good morning, Jacob. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Yes. Good morning to your listeners out there.
Thank you. Jacob, tell us about the inspiration behind... Tell us the inspiration behind starting Sweet Aroma Print.
Okay. Sweet Aroma Print, to be very honest, when I was in level 100, University of Ghana, that was in 2007, I started a business called Sweet Aroma Jerseys. Hello, please, can you hear me?
We can hear you, Jacob. Please go on.
Great. Where we customize club jerseys for students. You know, this Manchester, Real Madrid, Barcelona club jerseys. So that was how the business started. I went to Nima one day and I saw some people wearing the jerseys. So I asked them, where did you get it? They said, oh, they showed me a place. I went there. So what I did was that I customized one for myself with Real Madrid jersey. Came to campus and everybody was like, hey, can you do something for me? Where did it? And that was how the business started. I didn't actually plan even starting a business then. But when I realized a lot of people showed interest in it, I decided to venture. So I took their names, the jerseys they wanted, the sizes and all that. And those days, every year they changed the jerseys. And that was how I made a lot of money. Okay. So for instance, you customize the jersey today, the next year or the next season, they change it. So people have to do a new one again. Now, after school in 2011, one of my clients called me and said, Jacob, I want to do some customer, but this time it's not jersey, but t-shirt. Can you help us? I said, okay, I'll get back to you. So I quickly rushed to Newtown because at the time I realized that there was a lot of printing presses around Newtown. So I rushed to Newtown, went for inquiries, quotation. I put my profit on, I gave it to them. They made part payment. I got a job done. That was how I started Sweet Aroma Print.
That's how you started Sweet Aroma. With a large portfolio that you're running, you're not just printing books. You seem to be printing so many types of programs.
So I decided to venture into it as a full-time labor. I didn't intend. Pardon?
Yes, I was saying that with a wide range of the services that you provide, how do you maintain your portfolio without compromising quality?
Okay, great. Our industry is vast. Printing and designing and branding is a vast industry. So what we do as a company is that we have selected certain aspects of the business to focus on. For instance, when it comes to customization of plaques and awards in Ghana now, I can confidently tell you that we are number one. It is one of the areas we have chosen to specialize on. And I always take my boys through training, periodic training. We research, especially in China, to get new methods of producing plaques and various ways of producing other types of plaques. So right now, if you come to us to produce plaques for you, we have various varieties that you can choose from. And then secondly, we also make sure that we deliver on time. You see, nobody wants his job to be delayed. So one of the things we ensure at Sweet Aroma Print is our timelines. Sometimes there may be delay, but we communicate to the client. That is another way we use effective communication. You must always let the client, we involve the client even in the production stages, where the client will know what as at any point in time where we have reached, the challenges we are encountering, and whether we'll be able to deliver on time or not. The client will know even before the date comes. So these are some of the ways we use.
And will you say that these ways have set you apart from other industry players in the print industry?
Oh yes, it has. Yes, it has.
Well, how do you maintain the high quality that you have decided that you will do? You said that your work is some of the most pristine work or crisp work in the industry. How have you maintained it up until now?
Okay. One of the policies I have at my workplace is that I like firing people. If we decide that, well, you see, when it comes to our work, there is something we call quality control. At every stage, there must be approval. For instance, if you want to produce a plaque, after doing the design, the client approves, we cut the shape, it must be approved. There's a standard. You must make sure that the thing is very smooth. If there's any crookedness somewhere, you know that there's a problem. Either we make it smooth or we recut it. So every stage must be approved. Even when you apply, when you spray it, when you stamp paper, it has to be approved. After stamp paper, you have to use there's a smooth one we use. You must make sure that it's approved. When you do the first coat of the spraying, it must be approved. Second coat, the last coat, before we even put the lacquer, every stage has to be approved. And everything, there's a standard. It must be very smooth. If it is not smooth, we can't deliver it to the client. So every stage must be approved. So this is one of the measures we use to maintain our quality. If it is not of the standard that the client or we know we can give to the client, we will not give it to you. I will make sure if they have to spend the night and rework it, that is one of the ways we do. We spend night to make sure that the job is properly done.
Okay. Well, Christmas is coming. Christmas is coming, and many people would want to print souvenirs and all. What is Sweet Aroma Print giving to customers, clients, first-time customers that would want to engage the services of Sweet Aroma?
Well, for first-time customers, honestly, this year we don't have any package for them. But we have packages for our existing clients, our existing customers. This year we are going to organize an award event. We want to award our loyal customers. It is something we have planned. It's just that the season we are in is electionary season, and there's a lot of pressure on us for the printing of campaign T-shirts for NDC, NPP, and then the other political parties. There is so much pressure on us, so things look a bit slow. But right after elections, then we'll kickstart that process. We are the producer. We are this thing we know, so we can organize this thing within a week. So right after by December 8th, then we'll start processes towards the award scheme, where we want to award our loyal customers. So for the new customers, we don't have any package for them yet. But what we can do is that we'll give them discount. We can get discount up to 10%. Yeah, okay. For that one, we are ready to do that for our new client.
Jacob, for someone who is watching today and wants to also start a business like this, how much does it take to start a printing business?
This question, I don't know how to answer. But you see, my business, I started with zero capital. But today, you can't start this business with zero capital. Like I said, I started with the customized jerseys. So I took their names, I took money from them, and I used their own money to go and buy the jersey and customize and came to deliver. That was how I used to. But today, I don't think it is feasible. But you see, our industry is vast. Every item has its own machine. For instance, printing on pen, even every pen has its own machine. For example, Big Pen. The machine we use to print on Big Pen is not the same machine we use to print on the white pressing pen. It is also not the same machine we use to print on a metallic pen. So our industry is capital intensive. So depending on what you want to do, for instance, if you want to go into just T-shirt printing, you need not less than 250,000 cedis. to enter into full-scale T-shirt printing. Because when it comes to T-shirt, we have something called DTF. And one machine for DTF will cost you between 60 to 180,000, depending on the size. We have A3, A2, and even the brand. So just one DTF machine could cost you as high as 120,000.
Well, Jacob, you mentioned
then we have the
these
heat press machine.
You mentioned these high prices. How are you able to also look at your tariffs, electricity, because you use electricity a lot? With all of the increase in tariffs, the cost of electricity, how are you able to manage? Or the electricity cost is okay for you?
Well, I would say in a way, I don't have a problem with electricity tariff. Just that they changed our meter recently, some 4 months ago. And believe me, since they changed this meter, the credit has been running. I don't know whether, I can't just explain it. Formerly, it was okay. We never had any problem with tariffs and all that. Because every year they increase tariffs. So we have prepared ourselves, our mind. We are ready for it. But for the past 4 months, when they changed our meter and brought the new meter, it's like we now consume almost double the same amount we consume within the same period.
How much were you paying before the meters were changed, and how much are you paying now?
Before then, it was around, we consumed power up to about, I think, 600 cedis a month. But now we are consuming between 1,000 and 1,200 a month.
So that's like double of the amount you were paying at first.
Yes, actually double. Yes, actually double.
So the electricity tariffs are affecting you. Well, Jacob, let's find out if I want to come.
I don't want to say it's affecting me, but it's a concern.
It's a concern.
Because for a company like ours, difference of 600 cedis, I don't think it's a problem, but it is a concern.
Okay. If I want to come and
because
print,
I see it as a way of cheating, as a way of cheating us. Because if I used to pay 600, I know tariffs have to go, but up to 1,200 within the next month after a new meter has been. Then there's a problem with the meter. And that is where my concern is. Okay. I may be able to afford, but how about others? It's not fair.
Jacob, if I come to Sweet Aroma and I want to print some T-shirts, what will be the average cost of about 10 or 20 T-shirts?
Okay, for 10 and 20 T-shirts, depending on there are many factors that determine the pricing. Number one, the quantity. The more you do, the lower the cost. And then number two, the nature of the design. Somebody may come and say, okay, just put logo here and some small writing at the back. Somebody who will come, they say they want 2 logos. Another person may come, they want 2 logos, there's some design in the middle, then something at the back, and maybe something on the arm. So it depends on what you want, and even the quality of the shirt you want. We have high quality shirt like Gildan and Akari. Then we have medium quality like Mr. Tan, Wakigo, and then we have low quality like Camisa, and then the Jesse shirt. So depending on what, but averagely, you could, for 10 to 15 pieces, a unit cost will be around 30 cedis to 50 cedis, depending on the quality and the nature of the design.
Okay.
The minimum you could pay is around 30 cedis.
For one, let us know where Sweet Aroma is located and your contact, so that we too can visit Sweet Aroma for our printing. Hello, Jacob. Hello. We've lost Jacob, but we've been speaking with him about the print industry. Okay, Jacob. Yes, Jacob, let us know where Sweet Aroma Print is located and the contact details of Sweet Aroma.
Okay, right. We are located at Big Farm, right behind Mistro Plaza. It's popularly called Abedipele Building. That is our location at Big Farm. And at Accra New Town, which is just about 4 or 5 minute drive, we are located at 37 Station.
Okay.
Or 37 or Medina Station at Accra New Town.
And share your contact with us.
0242 53 1429. 0242 53 1429.
Thank you, Jacob. We are grateful for the conversation this morning.
Yeah, thank you too, and have a blessed day.
Jacob Shamate, CEO of Sweet Aroma Print. He says they are located at Pig Farm. You can reach them on 0242 53 1429. To also be featured on Executive Interview, get in touch with us on 053 916 1609. 053 916 1609. Let's talk about your business. Let's talk about your startup, the service you are rendering. And that's it for Executive Interview. We remind you that we have the Poll Center here on ABC News GH. All of your credible news and information about the elections from all of the elections we have conducted in this country, and then this year's elections. We will be bringing you all of the coverage, all of the information on ABC in the morning, and it is called the Poll Center. On the Poll Center, we say, at the Poll Center, we say votes, not violence. Don't be used by anybody for any kind of violence. Pay attention to your vote, to who and whom you're voting for. Cast your vote and then come back home whilst we await who will be declared the winner in the elections. Pay attention to your vote. What is enticing you or encouraging you to go and vote? But don't let anybody entice you with anything to cause violence before, during, and after the elections. That's all for Executive Interview. Next is Happy Hour. Any wish for your friends and all, just send it to us on Happy Hour via the number 0539161609, or interact with us on our socials and we'll do that for you. So we have some birthday wishes going to some lovely people celebrating their birthdays. November just began. Happy birthday, Mercy Ama Afeji from Promise Kate. He says, happy birthday, my love. Every moment with you is a gift, and I'm grateful for the joy, love, and warmth you bring into my life. Here's to celebrating you today and every day. I love you endlessly. Happy birthday, Mercy. Happy birthday to you. And happy birthday